Is the Oregon coast dog friendly? In this video, we're going to answer that question for you. We're going to talk to you about some places that you can take your dog, places you can't take your dog, touch on restaurants, hotels, all that good stuff starts now. Hey everyone, Seth Marchant with the Home Team Brokers here. If you're new to this channel, living on the Oregon coast, we show you what it's like to eat, sleep, play, work, all the pros and cons of living on the Oregon coast. And in this video, we're going to talk to you about what it's like for dog owners. Make sure and hit the subscribe button, tap the bell if you want to see more videos like this. That way you'll get notified each time we drop a new video, which is about once a week. And if you're somebody that's thinking about moving to the Oregon coast, you can call, text, email, or you can even click the link below in the description if you want to schedule a Zoom with us. All right, let's talk about what it's like as a dog owner living on the Oregon coast. Is the Oregon coast dog friendly? The general answer is yes. The entire state of Oregon is very dog friendly. We have the Humane Society here has a fundraiser called the Doggy Dash, which is the biggest on the West Coast. There's very few, if any, kill shelters on here. There's a lot of great shelters around the Oregon coast, as well as around the entire state of Oregon. So the Oregon coast in general is very dog friendly. So the big question is, are dogs allowed on the beach? And the general answer for that is yes. Dogs can pretty much go on any beach, anywhere along the Oregon coast. There are a few exceptions. I'll get to those in a moment. But all you need to know is that you don't have to keep your dog on a leash unless it's within the boundaries of a state park, in which case you do need to keep the dog on a leash. If you're not within the boundaries of a state park, you just need to keep your dog within visual distance, or probably more specifically, audible distance. So a distance where the dog can hear you and respond to your commands. And of course, the dog needs to be responsive. So in other words, if you don't have a dog that's responsive to you, that's just going to run away or running up to other people's dogs, you are supposed to keep the dog on a leash. But if not, you're going to see a lot of dogs off leash along the Oregon coast. In my experience, walking a dog along the Oregon coast, once you encounter another person with a dog, usually both owners will put their dog on a leash. Sometimes you stop and have a chat, let the dogs off the leash, run around and play with each other for a few minutes. But in my experience, all in all, and it's going to vary from place to place, but people are pretty good about when they encounter each other and the dogs are off leash to put the dog on leash. So there's really only one place that I know of along the Oregon coast. You're not supposed to take dogs down onto the beach or into the gardens, which is Shore Acres State Park. That's over by Coos Bay. Of course, if the dog is a service dog, then of course you can take the dog wherever you go. But for that entire state park, you're not supposed to have dogs. You're also going to find a handful of places along the Oregon coast where pets are not allowed at a certain time of the year in certain places. To protect certain wildlife, such as the snowy plower. It's a bird. There's a handful of places that they nest along the Oregon coast, and I think it's like March 15th to September 15th, something like that, where no pets or no dogs are allowed, again, just to protect those birds. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check that out and kind of avoid some of those areas during those times. But all in all, you're going to find that any beach along the Oregon coast is dog friendly. You can take the dogs, like I said. You're going to find a lot of people with dogs along the Oregon coast too. There are also a handful of dog parks along the Oregon coast. In some ways, there's not as many dog parks along the Oregon coast as you might expect, and that's probably just because most people are taking their dogs to the beach. So just not a big demand for dog parks. But off the top of my head, going from north to south, you have a dog park in Warrenton. You do have an indoor dog park, which is in Gearhart, just south of Warrenton. And then you do have one in Seaside. That one leaves a little bit to be desired, I think. It's a gravel area just off the freeway. Maybe not the highest rated dog park, but if for some reason you don't want to take your dog on the beach, I guess there's that. Beyond that, I don't think there's any in between Seaside and then once you get to Florence. So That's a pretty big gap in between Seaside and Florence. Maybe somebody else knows about one that they can chime in the comments and let us know. But you do have one in Florence, which are the South Jetty dog ponds. Then you have one in Reedsport. You have one in North Bend, which is around Coos Bay. You've got a couple in Bandon. You have one right in, kind of near downtown Bandon, and then one just outside of the city. And then you also have a dog park in Brookings, the Chetco Point Dog Park. So we have a fair amount of dog parks in a lot of the cities along the Oregon coast. If, again, for some reason you don't want to take the dog to the beach. Other than taking dogs to the beach or to a dog park, there's tons and tons of hiking trails all along the Oregon coast, and you can always take your dog in any of those hiking trails. A lot of those are going to be in parks and state parks, so the dog will need to be leashed, but all those places you can definitely take dogs as well. So are restaurants dog friendly on the Oregon coast? Yes, of course they are. A general rule of thumb for restaurants along the Oregon coast and dogs is that if there's outdoor seating, and this really goes for the entire state as far as I know, but if there's outdoor seating, you're going to be able to take a dog. And if you're not sure, you can always call ahead. I would call ahead rather than just looking online, because I've found some things online to be inaccurate. Just for example, I know that Yelp has the Gearhart McMinimans listed as some place that's not dog friendly, or it's just not checked off that it's dog friendly, for whatever reason. I've taken my dog there lots of times. I've seen lots of dogs there. They've got lots of outdoor seating there. So pretty much the rule of thumb, if there's outdoor seating, it's dog friendly. There's also a handful of restaurants along the Oregon coast too that are going to have actual menu items for dogs, or even a doggy menu. There's the Nell Scott Cafe in Lincoln City. They've got an entire canine menu. Darlings in Florence has like a doggy cheeseburger that comes with a bone. There's probably a lot of other places that have doggy items on their menu that I'm not even familiar with. The same thing in the comments. If you want to chime in, if you know of a place along the Oregon coast that has a great doggy menu, feel free to let us know. All in all, I don't think there's necessarily one town or one area that's more dog friendly than another. I've heard people say, and I've read a lot online, that Cannon Beach and Manzanita, which are right next to each other, pretty close to each other on the northern Oregon coast, for whatever reason are the most dog-friendly areas. Also, they're the most dog-friendly beaches. I've seen dog bowls in front of storefronts, like walking downtown through Manzanita. Yeah, that's great. Other than that, I don't really know why those areas would be considered more dog-friendly than really any other town along the Oregon coast, whether we're talking about Brookings or Astoria or Florence or Lincoln City or Depot Bay or Coos Bay or Newport or any of the small towns in between. They're all very, very super dog friendly and pet friendly in general, but most people are dog owners. Or at least people that are taking their pets somewhere, they're taking dogs with them. Oregon, you'll find some exceptions, and I've seen some weird things over time. But a lot of people that reach out to us that want to move along the Oregon coast, I would say at least half of them, the majority of them, have dogs. So definitely it's very relevant. It's very friendly for dogs along the Oregon coast, and you're going to find some hotels as well too. I don't have a list of hotels with you for you today. Pretty much any major town along the Oregon coast, you're going to find a hotel that is pet friendly. So the hotels, if you're staying in a hotel somewhere, you're probably not going to have a hard time finding a place for your pet to stay as well. And the only other thing I would say about the beaches is, again, going back to Manzanita and Cannon Beach, especially Cannon Beach, that's one of the busiest beaches. You might go search out some beaches that aren't quite as busy, or maybe some stuff that's off the beaten path. You can check out our video. We have one on beaches, maybe that you've never heard of. And some of those are going to be busy too, but sometimes you'll find some beaches that aren't quite as busy, which, if you're just trying to get out and get away from people a little bit, be able to throw a ball or something like that with your dog off leash and not have to worry about it running into other dogs. There's a lot of places along the Oregon coast that really aren't that congested, that you won't bump into a lot of people, and you can just go out and run around with your dog off leash. So I hope that helps you have a better understanding and feeling as to whether or not the Oregon coast is dog friendly, and where you can go and can't go. Again, pretty much you can go everywhere, every restaurant that's outdoor seating, every beach, with the exception of Shore Acre State Park. Again, if you are within the boundaries of a state park, just keep your dog on leash. The other thing I would say, that you kind of see is if you could bring a poop bag and pick up your poop, that's great. Kind of like we do, any other place or any other time when we're not at the beach. You know, always bring a poop bag and pick up your poop. People don't do that as much at the beach, and you know, it's not a huge deal. Tide comes in probably eventually and cleans it up, but you do see walking around occasionally some, you know, some dog poop, and you know, especially if it's a place where cars are driving to, then the cars are running it over. But so if you can pick up your dog poop, that's great, you know, because not everybody does. But again, yeah, I hope that helps you. If you have any questions about dogs and living on the Oregon coast, or just moving to the Oregon coast in general, you can call, text, or email us. If this video helped you, give us a thumbs up. That lets us know we're doing a good job. And make sure and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. All right, take care, everyone.